Horizon Warriors Chapter 7 Stroke of Luck. About 6 months ago, in Midgard, the nation in the middle of Yggdrasil that all the other branches kind of stick out from, there is a valley, and in that valley is a small farming town. Living in that farming town is a girl named Lynn. Lynn is a feisty, tomboyish young lady who tries to pitch in and help out in any way or anywhere she can. One day, she's returning home from running errands on the other side of town when she notices the ground begins to shake. Maybe I'm just hungry, she thinks. But then after a while, she notices the pebbles around her starting to shake and rattle, and the leaves and the trees begin to shake violently. Okay, maybe I need to go home and check on that. She rushes back to her home, but before she can get to the town, an 80-foot tall stone wall emerges from the earth, stretching far beyond and as tall as the eye can see, pushing dirt away, destroying any plants that were on top of it, and completely smashing any house or building or whatever that was below or above it. And Lynn could do nothing but react in shock as she dropped everything she was carrying and rushed to the wall. But just as she did that, a shadowy figure on top of the wall notices her and leaps down. Halt! You are not allowed in the stronghold. State your business. I'm sorry, but my family's in there. I need to get back home. Your family? The border guard laughs. Oh, well, they're either dead or not here. What? Yeah, if their home was not on top of the wall, then they are being relocated. This place is now under the ownership of Vanheim. We have officially occupied this territory for our own use. And to be frank, we didn't expect to see any stragglers out here. The border guard thinks to herself. Come with me. She points her spear at Lynn's neck. Or else. Lynn is then taken to a prison inside the strongholds, where the prison guard, Asbiel, puts her in a cell alone. Every day, she comes to check on the prisoners and make sure they have things they need to be barely alive at least, and will occasionally torment the prisoners for her own amusement. One day, Asbiel comes to check on Lynn, but not to torment or make sure she has what she needs, but because she just thought of something she could be useful for, something that she and her allies have been working on for a while now. By this time, 6 months have passed, 3 months have passed, and we're about to chapter 5, where the other characters are. And Lynn is brought out to an enormous coliseum with roaring audiences and a mysterious towering figure sitting in a box, cloaked in shadows. A few weeks have passed, and Lynn's life has completely changed. No longer is she that one girl from the farming town, but she's the champion of the Colosseum, the top slave gladiator in all of Midgard. The crowd loved her, despite this being a barbaric sport. She was very fierce and cocky, and had a demeanor of arrogance, but not in a bad way, to say the least. Lynn was the undefeated champion and relied on luck rather than skill and her faith in luck to pull so many victories over this long period of time. And one day, at the end of a tournament, Lynn faces her final opponent, 4 gladiators, each of which wielding a spear and a shield, as she looks around at her opponents, holding her axe behind her back. Alright, who's first? All of the gladiators try to rush on Lynn. Oh, all of you? Alright. She leaps into the air, causing them all to run into each other. Once she lands on the ground, she unleashes one big swipe to knock down two of them. Another one tries to strike, but Lynn quickly grabs his hand and suplexes him before he can have a second thought. And the last one, she trips up with a sweeping leg kick before uppercuts slashing him up into the air, knocking him down. The crowd goes wild and cheers her name as she thrusts her fists in the air in a victory pose. Yeah! You know the name, you know the game. Anyone else want to volunteer? She puts her hand to her ear. No? Absolutely no one? Alright, well that settles it. Another tournament in the bag. Now I'm gonna go celebrate and get nothing out of it. Despite the bleak comment confirming that she basically gets no prizes for any of this, she still maintains ground. She runs into her friend, Scratch, who, like her, was forced into this tournament because his village was destroyed in a similar situation. Hey, Lynn, there you are, says Scratch. I was just about to face my next opponent. Wish me luck? You know it, says Lynn. After all, luck's how we got here, right? You're right. Hey, we've been at this for a long time. They're gonna pit us against each other eventually, right? Yeah, maybe. But who knows? Maybe you'll win. You mean it? Nah, Lynn says jokingly. Now you get out there and you show them who's boss. Scratch smiles at Lynn's optimism as he rushes out to the arena as the crowd cheers for him. Back at Castle Draxa, Willow is tuning her guitar on a balcony, writing a song and smoking a cigarette for her sister, Hinoka. It's a quiet farewell ballad because, while on this quest, Willow doesn't know how long it's going to be till she can see her sister again. And she wants to at least create a memory to hold in her heart. As she's singing, she hears a voice. Nice song, wonder who it was written for. To her surprise, it's Hinoka. They both run up to each other and hug. Hey, Hinoka, how you been? Here, have a drink, have a cigarette, whatever you need. No, look, I'm sorry, but I'm busy. I have what we call a job that isn't some epic quest. I just came here to deliver some information to Jiren that the next Mark Wielder, the Mark of the Warrior, has been spotted in Midgard, and that you guys need to go and find him or her. Oh, of course. Jiren enters the room alongside Hinoka. We don't know exactly who it is, or where they are, but we do detect some sort of tournament, as if a whole bunch of people have little bits of the Mark of the Warrior. One of them has to join our side. So, Skylar is already getting permission from Queen Freya to go to Midgard to find them. Alright? Hey, Hinoka, stay safe out there. Being a paranormal investigator is not necessarily the safest job. So, good luck. Of course, Hinoka smirks. Of course. She turns away, seeming weirdly remorseful as she quickly hurries out of the castle. And that is why we have to go to Midgard. Skylar finishes explaining to Freya the information that Hinoka and Jiren procured for her. Well then, I wish you the best of luck on your travels. Be warned though, Vanheim has taken over that territory, so be on your guard. They just want to pick a fight with anyone nowadays, don't they? Laughs Skylar. No worries. If we see them, we'll put a stop to them. Wish us luck. Of course. May the great heroes smile down upon you. Skylar gathers her allies as they go to the portal room in Castle Draxa. Are you guys ready? Yeah, let's do this! Cries her allies, all of them with their weapons, armor, and gear at the ready. Whew. Here goes nothing. They enter the portal and find themselves in Midgard. Sorry, Final Fantasy brain rot. At Midgard, they see the wall and approach it. The same wall that Lynn saw. And from the exact same position as well. As they make their way there, they come across Asbiel, who holds her spear out in front of the door. Not so fast. You're not allowed entry in here. This is Vanheim's stronghold. Where have I seen you before? Skylar's fur stands on edge. Well, I've got a common face. No. We were on strict orders to apprehend any... She looks to her left and right. Chosen ones? Skylar pulls out her sword. She knows. Well, stand aside or we're going to have to fight you. Everyone pulls out their weapons. Alright then. But you'll find out soon enough how great of a tactician I can be. Several soldiers from Vanheim all surrounds the party. Yep, they reek of Asgard, says one of them in a very gruff tone. The other ones laugh. Here goes nothing! They all fight Asbiel, but as they all rush one by one, Asbiel quickly knocks them down with her defensive spear-fighting tactic. Eventually, Matthew fires an arrow, but Asbiel grabs it and quickly deflects it. What? How does she... Jiren wonders, staggered. Asbiel chucks her spear at Jiren, knocking him down, before picking it up and kicking Artemis to the ground before he can heal anyone. None of you ever stood a chance. You're coming with me. As Jiren lies there, he begins to feel something and says to himself in his mind, that woman, what is this power? It's not a mark, so could it be? The party winds up in a dungeon cell in the Colosseum. Everyone is either pacing around, fidgeting, or leaning on a wall. Artemis turns to Fang, who is leaned up against the wall with his head behind his back, and looks around his body. Do you have any more of those lockpicks? Nope. Sorry, kid. Used the last one in Svaltmer. My bad. Oh, well, you don't have anything you can make one with? Kid, it doesn't work like that. I think we're just doomed. Noctis crosses his arms and closes his eyes. Shut up. How could you say anything like that? Fang begins to get aggressive. Why, you big, dumb... Artemis stands in between the two. Both of you. No, that's enough. We have to think of a way out of here. Skylar puts her head up against the wall. Well, if our thief and lockpick can't find a way out of here, I don't know what we're going to do. The door swings open. Hey, what's up? Newcomers? Yeah. Who are you? Says Skylar to Lynn's initial quote. Name's Lynn, champion of the arena. You guys look like a pretty skilled lot. Wonder if I'll get to face you guys anytime soon. Well, you're quite the energetic. Hey, if you were able to open the door, does that mean you can help get us out? That didn't necessarily work well last time. Lynn chuckles while doing a guillotine symbol with her hand to her neck. Oh, okay. Asbiel calls Lynn from down the hall. Lynn, you are needed imminently. Lynn looks back and closes the door. Hey, sorry guys, but I gotta go. Lynn finds her way onto the Colosseum. Asbiel is sitting perched next to the mysterious, tall, shadowy figure. We caught the chosen ones, sir, but makes me wonder if we can do anything with them. What exactly do you propose, Asbiel? Says the tall, towering figure. That we make them fight the warrior? to determine if she's worthy of the mark we want her to bear. The tall figure was Emperor Kilon of Vanheim, a 12-foot tall, unnaturally large figure, absolutely dominating and disgustingly massive. Kilon's dominating stature came from sacrificing other lives. He's as worthy of that form as he is a worthy leader. That is, not at all. I'd say we find the strongest of that lot and have the warrior fight them. What do you say? Yes, do that. Asbiel enters the cell and pulls Matthew and Noctis aside. Hey, you two. When I look around this room, you two stick out to me the most. You both look strong and capable, worthy enough to knock that champion down a peg, wouldn't you say? Matthew and Noctis look at each other. Matthew begins to speak by saying, yeah, I guess? You mean Lynn, right? Yeah, of course. You guys are up to the task, aren't you? Noctis sighs. I believe we are. Stop! Cries Skylar. If you're going to be sending any of my comrades to fight for their lives, send me too. Oh, the more the merrier, says Asbiel. Wait, you don't object to that? Asks Skylar. Of course not. Now, you three get to the arena grounds. The crowd cheers for Lynn, as she just managed to vanquish some chariot-riding gladiator, who gets carried off by guards while looking in complete fear. Yeah, that's what you get. Alright, who's next? She turns around and sees Skylar, Noctis, and Matthew. Oh, hey! It's you three. Wonder what you guys are up to. Don't tell me you're taking a part of the... Skylar looks very grim. Oh my gods, you are. Well, I always said I wanted to face you guys. Let's see what you got. Lynn draws her axe. As Matthew draws his bow, Skylar draws her sword, and Noctis draws his lance and shield. Noctis charges forward. As Lynn braces for impact, the swing knocks Lynn off of her footing, sending her streaking across the arena. She tumbles on the ground but manages to bounce up and get back on her feet. She looks up and sees Matthew leap into the air and fire a volley of 5 arrows. She is able to somersault out of the way, and once she gets back up, swings her axe at Skylar, who was also swinging her sword, causing the two to clash. Lynn laughs. Ha! Wow, why the long face? I'm having a blast! She flings away Skylar and manages to kick her down. Skylar gets back up, parries another one of Lynn's strikes, and manages to deliver a powerful spinning sword slash. Lynn gets back up and prepares to strike again, leaping into the air and slamming a powerful shockwave to the ground. Noctis stands in the way of Skylar and is knocked to the ground. As Skylar comes to his side to get him back up, she sees Lynn approach. Skylar grabs her sword, stands up, and lunges at Lynn. Lynn manages to parry, kicking Skylar down, but Skylar gets back up, leaps into the air, and does a powerful magic-infused sword strike to the ground. Magi Steel! This newfound technique is a advanced skill of the mark of the champion, newly awakened, allowing Skylar to channel all of her magic energy into a single sword strike, catching everyone off guard. Even Kilon in the booth has his eyes widened. Lynn is knocked to the ground and tries to get back up, but collapses. No, how did you... Wait, we won? Says Skylar. Matthew and Noctis look at her and smile. Yeah, I think we did, says Matthew. All right, we won! Skylar thrusts her fist into the air, high-fives Noctis and Matthew, who also high-five each other, as the 3-strike victory poses. But they're quickly caught off guard when Skylar looks and sees Lynn crying. Lynn, what's wrong? She approaches her. I've never lost before. Is my faith being challenged? Your faith? Asks Skylar. Yeah, I used to think that luck would push me through. Ever since I was a kid, I've lived by the idea that I just kept getting lucky. My birthmark, all of my powers, my friends, everything I thought was luck. But you guys, you're skilled. You're actually strong and capable. I've beaten guys like you, but now I can't even face you. What is happening? Good. Now finish the job, Kilon demands Skylar. What do you mean, finish the job? Asks Lynn. You lost. So now you are executed. Your life is over, and you will become yet another meal. Another what? Don't touch her! Scratch says, standing between Kilon and Lynn. You dare stand in my way? Yeah, if you're gonna take anyone, take me instead. Take me! I'd rather not. You have any reason to be taken, then. The arena shrinks as the ground falls away. Skylar, Noctis, and Matthew all go to one edge as the small circle around Lynn and Scratch becomes a lot more pronounced. You will have to face your friend in combat. What? No. Lynn cuts off Scratch. It's okay. We talked about this, remember? We knew we'd fight at some point. So just have a blast. Like we've always dreamed of. Scratch hastily grabs his sword. But I don't want to. I can't lose you. I have no one else. And I can't lose you, but look, we have no choice. One of us is gonna get lucky. That's all I'm gonna say. Regardless of what happens, I'm glad I met you, Scratch. And I'm glad I met you, Lynn. The two leap into the air in a fierce battle, sword clashing against axe, as they leap around the small arena, blocking, striking, parrying hits, all with bouts of emotion in their face. As they leap into the air, powerful energy swirls around both of them. What's happening? They both continue fighting with a newfound vigoration. Kilon's face glows with an evil smile as he watches, knowing exactly what's happening, all a part of his plan. The power fades away out of Scratch's body, as Lynn uses the power to strike down Scratch. Lynn, says Scratch in shock and disbelief. Scratch, I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. No, it's all right. I'd rather die to protect you than live the rest of my life knowing I let you down. Scratch. No! Scratch! No! In the cell, Jaren thinks to himself, wait, the mark of the warrior. It's Lynn. What? How could that be? Asks Artemis. The mark is... It's showing. Lynn has struck down her friend, and that power flowing through her. She's the victor of this tournament, and therefore has been granted the power of the elites. That was the reward all along. But she's in distress. We have to save her. Dren was right. The symbol, the mark of the warrior, flares above Lynn's head as Skylar, Noctis, and Matthew look in surprise. "That's the mark," says Noctis in complete disbelief. "Yeah, the warrior." Lynn looks around and wonders why everyone is looking at her with such shock and dismay, gasping. The audience is silent, unmoving, as Keelan's face, glowing in the unnatural light, is completely enthused. "You are the trophy I've been looking for, Lynn. I built this arena, all so that the mark of the warrior can be born. At last, you will be an addition to my power." He extends his unnaturally large hand. "Join me, and we can be supreme." "Never!" shouts Lin back. "I will survive. I will protect my friends. Scratch will not be destroyed. My friends, their powers, all of that is a part of me, and I will not let that power be used for evil. Killon, I will defeat you." Killon laughs. "You leave me no choice." Skylar stands between the two, extending her arms out. "Don't touch her. Lynn, we have to retreat. Now!" Lynn and Scratch nod as they both flee alongside Skylar, Matthew, and Noctis. As the two leave the exit, Asbiel nods at Killon and dashes forward. Scratch stands behind the group, blocking her spear with his sword. "Everyone, run! Leave me here, I've got this!" Lynn looks back in disbelief. "No! Scratch! You have to come with us!" "I'd rather die protecting you than live knowing I let you down!" Lynn nods as they all retreat through the gate. Killon stomps his ground and screams in disbelief that the heroes got away. They find the prison cell and bust out the other four. "Guys, this is Lynn, the mark of the warrior that we've been looking for. Lynn, you are a part of the prophecy. The heroes that will face..." Sorry, I don't mean to thrust all this on you right now. I'm sorry, but we're gonna get through this, alright? You're not just another cog in the machine, Lynn. You are an individual. You will become one of us, and will protect you. We know you're strong. We know you can face them. Now let's just go back out there and save Lynn jumps up energetically. "Yeah! Let's go! Everyone, follow me. We're getting my friend back." Everyone just stands there, shocked. The emotional moment was completely cut off by Lynn's enthusiasm. Willow's jaw drops. She begins to speak. We were just having a moment, right?" Yeah. Yeah, I think we were," says Artemis. Fang quickly resumes to normal. "Alright, you heard the girl. Let's go follow her out there." Back on the arena, the sky has darkened as Asbiel puts her foot on Scratch's chest. "Any last words, rebel?" she says. Scratch looks up at her, blood trailing from his mouth. "Yeah. Screw you." Asbiel raises her spear and prepares to joust, but Lynn calls her name. "Asbiel!" Asbiel looks up, right before she impales Scratch. "Your time is up!" Killon stands above Asbiel. "What are you waiting for? Destroy them!" "As you wish, Master." A dark, malevolent aura flares around Asbiel. Jiren looks back in shock. You have a false mark? How do you think I was able to overpower you? An unnaturally powerful false mark. Kilon looks in disbelief. You had a false mark the whole time? But you know the law is... I did it so that I could keep this up. Don't you understand, Kilon? I am devoted to you. I adore you, and I will not let anyone displace your empire. When I'm done with this, I'm going to let you consume me and absorb my mark so that we may become the ultimate life form. Consume me so we can become a supreme being. Kilon nods at Asbiel's insanity, seeming to relish in it. Of course. Finish the job and come to the palace. Lynn looks at Asbiel and shakes her head. You're insane! What do you mean? Don't you know marks and false marks? They're all the same. Kilon, you know those losers? Well, the reason they were so afraid is because it's a well-known fact. When someone loses in Kilon's presence, he takes their body, or kills them if they're still alive, kills them, and eats them. How do you think he's so powerful? So unnaturally overpowered? He eats and absorbs people's powers and abilities in a never-ending cycle of perpetual growth until he can become a god. He needed the marks so that he could absorb them and become truly omnipotent. I'm willing to sacrifice myself so the empire I, with patriotic gratefulness, support, can become unlimited. We're not going to let you do that. We're going to defeat you and Kilon. Asbiel lowers her spear. Alright then, bet. She dashes forward. Noctis puts his shield out, blocking all of Asbiel's hits. Too slow. Skylar jumps up, landing on Noctis' shoulders, and leaps into the air, doing a powerful forward strike to Asbiel, knocking her off her guard. Lynn rushes close, jumping into the air with a spinning axe swing, knocking her down, throwing her axe in the air and dealing several punches and kicks, kicking her into the air, leaping into the air, grabbing the axe while mid-air, and then slamming down with a powerful magic-infused strike, a technique called a meteor smash. Asbiel gets back up, spins around with her spear, and charges energy, before launching a lightning bolt straight to Fang's location. Fang is swift, so he's able to run across the arena, somersaulting away from it, before lunging back, throwing his knife like a shuriken, knocking her off her guard. However, she gets back up and charges it again. Don't get too cocky! She launches the burst again, causing an explosion on the ground in front of Fang, knocking both him and Jiren into the air. Artemis rushes to their side. Don't lose. Don't give up. Please, protect them, he prays, as his two allies become healed all again, and as his allies become fully healed. Jiren charges up a powerful fire spell and merges it in with elemental lightning. Flame Storm! Cast! He throws the ball of energy into the air as it causes an explosion. A lot of clouds, all crackling with a burning electricity, begins striking down. Asbiel notices this and attempts to dodge several of the lightning bolts, all creating pillars of flame as they land. However, she's quickly overpowered, being struck down. However, she's able to use her spear as a lightning rod and absorbs some of the magic, turning her spear into a burning wheel that spins around like a cycle. She spins around and throws it like a discus, straight at Matthew. Matthew is hit by the attack, but is able to grab the spear by the handle and fling it back. While it's being flung back, in slow motion, Matthew begins to charge up several arrows, all of which being coated in elemental fire magic, and shoots them at the spear, creating an almost molten, quick, liquid-like projectile that explodes right in Asbiel's face. Willow begins playing on her guitar and casts a spell that causes everyone to have their attack stat and defense stat increased as an aura flares around their body. "You guys ready for an encore?" says Willow. "You know it." She plays a powerful melody that drains Asbiel of her health, healing all the allies that have been knocked around. "You fools! You cling on to your independence, knowing that someday you too will be consumed." Lynn jumps into the air and prepares another downward strike. "We're never going to let that happen. We're not going to be like you. Not now, not ever!" She lands, though, on Asbiel's spearhead, as Asbiel chuckles. "Wow, how pathetic." Lynn smirks. "You weren't counting on one thing." She looks down. Asbiel looks down and notices her arm was chopped off by Lynn's axe. "I'm always lucky." "Now! Finish the job!" Noctis stands right behind Lynn, on it, before swinging his spear, knocking down Asbiel. No! No! She falls down. Kilon! Kilon! Take my power! Become supreme!" Asbiel dies. Scratch comes to check on Lynn. "Lynn, are you okay?" Lynn chuckles. "Yeah, I'm alright. You good?" "Yeah, I'm good." "Listen, that new power you have. Travel the world. Fix its problems. Put an end to Kilon and Vanheim's bloodlust. Don't let me down. Don't let anyone down. And don't let anyone tell you you're out of luck." Lynn chuckles. "Alright, anything for you." "I wouldn't have expected it any other way," says Scratch with a smile. The two exchange a fist bump and part ways. At the steps of Castle Draxa in the night, Skylar stands next to Lynn. "Well, I bet it's a change of scenery for you, but I hope it's not too bad. What do you say? You one of us now?" Lynn laughs. "I wouldn't have it any other way." She jumps into the air behind everyone and wraps her arms around Fang and Artemis in one arm and Willow and Skylar in the other arm, squeezing them very tight in a both sides hug while laughing. Matthew, Noctis, and Jiren just kind of stand behind and watch with glee. "Here's hoping this never gets old," says Jiren. The group laughs as the camera pans to the night sky.